Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the NHL DFS slate for Wednesday, October 26th. We got ourselves just a 3-game slate here tonight, where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. With that being said, let's dive into this spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals. We got two of these games coming in with an implied total of 6.5, and one of them coming in at 6 goals. And then take a look down here at the Vegas odds. We got the Lightning, Islanders, and Oilers all favored to win here tonight. With that being said, let's kick it off with a couple of my favorite line stacks here. And being that it is just a 3-game slate, we need to find ways to make our lineups unique, especially at the forward position. That's what I'm doing here with this first line for the Tampa Bay Lightning, because you're probably going, wait, Steven Stamkos is playing down on the second line, and you would be right. But I do want to say this. The Lightning played last night against the Los Angeles Kings, and they rolled out 11 forwards. We actually saw these three play together at about 10% of the 5-on-5 shifts, so they are still getting time together 5-on-5, on top of playing on the number one power play together, and that's really what I'm targeting here against a bad Anaheim Ducks team who's allowing 4.50 goals per game to start the season and has the second worst penalty kill in the NHL, just hitting at a 65.5% rate. Now, you could stack them up with Victor Hedman here, even mix in someone like Vladislav Namestnikov, who you could see is a low-priced option. All of those guys playing on the number one power play. Another line stack I like here tonight is that second line for the St. Louis Blues. We got Thomas centering Schenn and Tarasenko. Now, it sounds like Pavel Buchnevich could return at any time. They did put him on the IR, but he doesn't have to miss a certain amount of games. They can activate him whenever they want to. If he is activated, we'll likely see him on the left wing, and I absolutely would play him as well. But we're getting all three of these guys here up on the number one power play, just like that line for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I don't mind targeting this power play in general for the St. Louis Blues. They're playing an Oilers team here that's allowed 3.33 goals per game to start the season and have the 8th worst penalty kill, just hitting at a 74% rate. So again, being that it is just a 3-game slate, I don't mind targeting some of these power plays, and the Lightning and Blues stick out to me. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. I'm going to have hockey content coming out for you guys all year long. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards, and I'm not entirely sure why Leon Draisaitl here is so cheap, and yes, I understand $7,100 is one of the more expensive players on this 3-game slate, but for a guy that's got 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points in his first 6 games, damn near averaging 2 points per game, and over 3 shots on net per game, you could easily price him in the upper 8K range, and people would still play him. Now, he should log about 19-20 plus minutes here tonight on that second line in number one power play, and has one of the best ceiling scores on this 3-game slate. Hell, it could be a 16-game slate with all 32 NHL teams playing, and he'd still have one of the best ceiling scores. And like I said, we are getting him at a discount here at $7,100. All things considered. I then got Chris Kreider there of the New York Rangers, who you could argue is kind of underperformed to start the season. He's got just 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points in 7 games, and it's just 7 games into the season, so I'm not really worried about that, because he still leads this entire Rangers team in expected goals at 4.6, and again, he's only got 2. So I believe that the chances and opportunity will still keep coming for him. Eventually, he's going to start burying the puck at a more consistent rate. Let's not forget, this guy buried 50 goals just last year, and he's one of the cheaper top 6 forwards on this Rangers team who's still getting time up on that number one power play. So like I said, the opportunity and chances are definitely there for him, and we should start to see him getting on the score sheet a little more frequently going forward. Now, on the other side of that game, I like Anders Lee of the New York Islanders, and I'm going to talk about Brock Nelson at the same time. 2 Minnesota kids playing on the second line in number one power play together, and very affordable as well at $5,400 and $4,400. Now, Anders Lee has been the best forward for the Islanders to start the season, leads the team with 4 goals and 7 points, and leads the team in expected goals as well. Brock Nelson has yet to find the back of the net, but he does have 6 assists and sitting at a really good good price tag here of $4,400 for a guy that has 20 plus DraftKings point upside. Now, both these guys will be catching this Rangers team here, playing on back-to-back nights. They played the Colorado Avalanche last night. That game ended up going into a shootout where they ultimately did end up losing. Maybe they can catch this Rangers squad just a little bit fatigued. I'm not really too concerned about that because they're basically going across the street to play the New York Islanders, don't really have to travel. But what I like even more so here is they don't have to face Igor Shesterkin tonight. They're going to get Yaroslav Halak, who has not been very good in his first 2 games. He took a loss in both of those games, allowing 8 goals on just 54 shots on net. That's a goals allowed average of 4.03 and a save percentage of .852. Those are not very good numbers. And then I got Jordan Kyrou there, who's sitting at a really nice price of $4,600 for the St. Louis Blues. He's got just 1 goal now through 4 games, but does lead the team in expected goals. And this is a guy who's coming off a career year where he had 27 goals last year, 48 assists, 75 points in 74 games. So needless to say, he can definitely find his way on the score sheet, and multiple times at that. He is going to play up on that first line, but plays down on the second power play. St. Louis does a very good job of splitting up those top 2 power plays, but technically he is on the second. I really do like the price here, though, at $4,600. I think he's going to have a big game here sooner than later. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, we're going to kick it off there with Victor Hedman, and being that it is just a 3-game slate, I have no issue spending up for the defenseman position. I talked about that first power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning earlier. Victor Hedman's going to play big minutes not only on the number 1 power play, but play big minutes in general. We should see him log around 23, 24 plus minutes here tonight, gets time on the penalty kill, and a guy who can definitely get on the score sheet. He has 5 assists through 7 games, but did have a goal waved off last night against the Los Angeles Kings. He's shooting the puck, he's blocking shots, and really racking up points in a number of different ways. But really, I just love the matchup here for the Lightning tonight against this Ducks team, who have been horrible defensively, and again, have not had a very good penalty kill. And then sticking with another Lightning defenseman here in Mikhail Sergachev, if you really want to get contrarian tonight, you could target some number 2 power plays. You'll see Sergachev play on the number 2 power play for the Lightning, as well as log about 22 plus minutes, play on the penalty kill. Another very well-rounded defenseman who could rack up DraftKings points in a number of different ways. And that's exactly what he's done this year. He's got 4 assists through 7 games. He only averages around 2 shots on net per game. I would like him to shoot the puck a little bit more, but he has not been afraid to block shots this year. 21 block shots through 7 games, averaging 3 per game, and you get 3 block shots in a game, you get that 3-point DraftKings bonus, which has led to Sergachev averaging around 11 DraftKings points per game. Someone who can definitely meet value here at this price of $4,600. Now, being that I am targeting that number 1 power play tonight for the St. Louis Blues, and honestly, I don't even mind the number 2 power play if you want to do a little mini stack with Ryan O'Reilly, Jordan Kyrou, and Justin Falk. I'm all about that. But Torrey Krug here sitting at a really nice price of $4,300, and he's going to play on that number 1 power play with Thomas Schenn and Tarasenko. And sticking with another St. Louis Blues defenseman here, like I said, I like Krug, I like Falk. I also like Colton Parayko here at $3,500. He has not lived up to expectations through 4 games. It's 4 games. I'm not worried about it. This is a guy who plays 22 plus minutes per night, gets time on the penalty kill, unfortunately does not play on the power play, but this is usually someone who floats in the upper 4K range, low 5K range, did most of last year. Someone who can definitely get us double-digit DraftKings points. He's got a hell of a shot. Again, he just doesn't get to use it on the power play. So at $3,500 here, if you look at his first 4 games, you're going to go, that doesn't look very good, and you would be right, but this is definitely someone who can exceed value at this price. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here. Again, don't want to sound like a broken record, but being that it is just a 3-game slate, there's a case to be made to roster any one of these goaltenders. It really just comes down to what the rest of your lineup looks like. If I'm going to be rolling out a bunch of Edmonton Oilers here tonight, then no, I'm not going to play Jordan Binnington. Same thing, if I want to play a bunch of the Rangers, then I won't play Ilya Sorokin. But these are my 2 favorite goaltenders here on this 3-game slate. We got Binner there, who's off to a really good start for the St. Louis Blues. He's 3-0 to start this season with the goals allowed average of 1.65 and a save percentage of .940 with 2.0 goals saved above expected. And then I got Ilya Sorokin there of the New York Islanders, and his record is not very good right now, just sitting at 1-3, and if you look at his last game, he was pretty damn bad, but has been really solid in the other 3 games. Even though he is just 1-3, he does have a 1.2 goals saved above expected. He just needs better team play in front of him. Now again, maybe we can catch the Rangers a little fatigued here tonight. Played last night, went to overtime, ended up losing that game. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but you can see the Islanders are favored to win here at -120. Notoriously a good defensive team. 3-game slate. We can make a case for any one of these goaltenders. Like I said, Binnington and Sorokin were my favorite too. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is Brandon Hagel, who is technically playing on the first line for the Tampa Bay Lightning right now with Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point. But if they run out 11 forwards again tonight like they did last night against the Kings, we're going to see all sorts of lines 5-on-5. But he's still playing up with those guys, getting time on that number 2 power play, and actually has a goal here in back-to-back games, along with an assist, hitting 13 and 19.1 DraftKings points, smashing value at that price of $3,300. Now, Ryan O'Reilly has not been very good to start the season, just like Colton Parayko for the St. Louis Blues, but he does play up on the first line, gets time on that number 2 power play, and although he does have 0 points so far, this is definitely a guy who can get on the score sheet. He's usually priced in the low 5K range, so we're getting him at a massive discount here at this price. And then Vladislav Namestnikov there of the Tampa Bay Lightning really hasn't done much since he got bumped up to that second line with Steven Stamkos and bumped up to the number 1 power play. Maybe Tampa Bay shifts some things here tonight. They did lose again last night, but if Vladdy does play up on that number 1 power play, I think it's another solid opportunity play here and very affordable at $2,800. You could legit roll out that first line of Point, Kucherov, Stamkos, put in Victor Hedman as well as Namestnikov. Now you have exposure to the entire number 1 power play for that Lightning team. Again, against a bad Anaheim Ducks team who has the 2nd worst penalty kill in the NHL, just hitting at a 65.5% rate. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Had a really good night last night, ended up sweeping the board, going 3-0 with those picks. Hopefully going to keep it rolling here tonight. If you have not signed up for prize picks though and want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely be taking advantage of. When you sign up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now again, I probably sound like a broken record here, but you do not have to put $100 in. You want to put in 50, they'll match 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match 20. They will match anything up to $100, again, as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Now, a lot of even numbers out here right now as I look this morning. As you all know, I don't really care for that, but here are the ones that are sticking out to me here early on. Again, I'm going to go through these, do my research. I'll let you know all of my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. But Anders Lee here, yep, there we go, over 2.0. That sticks out to me. I don't mind Chris Kreider there. Again, I think he's going to have a bounce-back game here sooner than later, but Trouba at 2.0 also sticks out to me. Wahlstrom at 2.0 does. Now we're getting down here to this game between the Oilers and Blues. Again, a lot of even numbers. Not really thrilled about that whatsoever. Maybe McDavid there at 3.5 looks pretty good, but those are the 3 that really stuck out to me, taking the more or over on all 3 of those. But again, I'm going to go through these, do my research, and I'll let you know my final picks in a comment below at some point here today. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money here on this 3-game slate. I'm out of here.